That was quite the little journey we just went on.
Yeah, patience is a virtue.
Yeah, and we'll figure it out. We just so
Yeah.
everybody knows what we're trying to do is have this go live streaming on YouTube as well so that we can really capture these videos in a way that's more usable and accessible to everyone. And so we were
Okay.
just trying this platform where we stream both, and clearly it's a little bit tricky. So we'll see. We'll try it again. But
All right.
we are here now. So what did you want to talk about today, Gladys?
Okay. I can't see
Oh,
anything. Are you on?
I
Here you
am.
are. She said,
Where?
Mom, down here.
Okay. All right. I can see you. Okay. This morning, I was
No, that
listening to
doesn't work.
Morning.
I'm
Hello?
here.
Yeah. I was listening to Morning Joe, and there's really hope out there, which I think I know need to listen to, and I think other people need to put energy into, and that is for the environment. They were saying that there's a worm in the ocean that can put some kind of enzyme onto plastic and get rid of it. And so
Wow.
they've perfected that, and they know what they're doing about that, and they're in the process of helping clean up the ocean. And they, I don't know who they are, but the people who know what they're doing also have created a cloud that they can create and put over the ocean so that it sort of mitigates the number of uh, rays of sunshine that are causing so much of the damage. So with those two things, and then the things that individual people like you and me and other people that we know are doing for our environment, we're going to get this taken care of, and we're going to be around a long time. We're not going to blow ourselves up. I think this is real hope and real something to look forward, and the fact that it's something that we can always do something about and for, and reach out to the people who are scientifically able to do these things and do them together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. Somebody just commented, and I've heard this too, that there's something like that in regards to mushrooms, that there's some mushroom that,
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah. And so people are looking for hope, and it's there, because when you look for something like that, you find it.
Well,
And
oh, go ahead.
and we're giving energy to that positive energy, which gives it substance.
Yes, and I think that we're being asked, I mean, we clearly we can't keep going the way that we've been going. We can't keep doing what we're doing. So we're being forced to think outside the box, which
Right.
is how we're going to make the change.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the electric cars are helping because we don't need so much gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
And the engines that they're able to use without gasoline also is helping. So there are people around the world who really understand this kind of energy, and are working well, as we femifest this energy and they work and manifest it, it's going to do just fine, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it is that sort of just that creative spark that helps keep the hope alive that something's going to shift and it's not all just doomsday.
If most of us are leaning back and saying, "Oh well, it's all going to blow up or whatever," it will. But if there are a whole bunch of us more of us who say, no, we're going to do this. We're going to make this work. We got this far and we're not going to blow it up.
Somebody's commenting, unfortunately, I think there is a drawback with the ingredients in the electric car batteries. And I have heard about that as well. But again, maybe then there's going to be another iteration of what to do about that.
Right.
So,
The first time, a lot of times it doesn't work the first or sixth time. But when you finally get it right, it'll work. We just have to keep working at it.
right, right. Somebody was asking, I think, when the mushroom came up, somebody was asking if you have any comments about the use of psychedelics. You,
No, I don't know much about that.
yeah, it's certainly come into, I mean, you've heard that it's now becoming more popular in
Right.
its use for mental illness and all kinds of things. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I have,
it's called science, and science is looking for answers. So let's just keep doing that. Yeah.
you know, I just listened to, and I'm not all the way through it. I only got the very first beginning part, but are you familiar with David Perlmutter? He's a neurologist and a nutritionist. Do you know that
No.
name? He's
No.
written a bunch of books. He's a really, I think you would really like him. He's
Oh,
really, really
good.
smart and also just really a regular person, and he does a podcast. And anyway, so he did this podcast with these two women. Oh, this is bad because I'm telling a story and I don't know the names of all the things, but it had to do with, they wrote a book about how important art is
Yeah.
in neurology, and that they're finding that when people engage in some kind of an artistic, whether it's, I mean, it could be anything from playing music to dancing to actually making art, that it actually can increase the chemistry in the brain in a very positive way and the size of the brain. Um, Really fascinating. So it was all about, it made me think of it when you said it's the science. So it's how the science is bringing validity, if we needed it, to the arts.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
great.
we work together. It's called teamwork.
Mm,
And as we do things together and not condemn each other, then that's, you know, a lot of times if somebody is working really hard on a uh, scientific project and it doesn't work, the tendency is to say, oh, well, that's not going to go anyplace and give up.
right.
No, you don't give up. You know the story about the turtle?
Yes,
So,
you have told that, but tell it again. There's probably
okay,
new people on here.
all right. My dad and uh, uh, another hunter. My dad wasn't the hunter, but we were outside of a village where there was a it was by the Ganges River, and there was an alligator in that river. No, it was a crocodile. I'm sorry, a crocodile in that river that had been killing people. And so the villagers came to my dad and said, "Could you please come and take care of this because it's very dangerous for us." And so my dad and Harry Dean went to the Ganges and they saw the crocodile and they shot it and pulled the carcass up on the shore and were skinning it and opening things up. And when they opened the stomach, it was full of women's jewelry. So they knew they had the right alligator, crocodile. And so they just went ahead with their work, but then they saw a turtle that had been in the stomach there, and its shell was completely white. They said it was so white it was just a white shell. And so they put it aside with the other things that they were working with. And when they turned around after a while, that turtle had walked away. And my dad, when we were kids growing up, if I was doing something and would say, "Well, I give up," my dad had two things. He either said, "Are you a quitter?" which was just as bad as being a liar. So and I'd say, "No, no, no, no." Or he'd say, "Can you be a turtle?" And oh, yeah, yeah, I can be a turtle and not quit, none of us can figure out how that turtle lived in the stomach of that crocodile
Yeah.
long enough to have the turtle's skin turn completely white. But it did. And so it's that kind of a mystery. And one of the things my dad used to say is that life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved.
Hmm.
And so if we could understand that life has these huge, huge mysteries that we can look for and see see how they fit into what it is that we're doing.
Yeah, and yeah, I love that story because it does seem like absolutely unbelievable that a turtle would be able to live, yeah, be able to live. And but I think that idea of that life is to be lived, not to be solved, like
Yeah.
we, I mean, that is what you said, right? Did I hear that
Well,
right?
it's a good way of saying it. Life is a mystery to be
To be
lived.
lived. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so with that, we have the mystery of how to heal the planet and how to take care of all the starving people in the world and all the homeless people. And like it's all an opportunity for us to get creative and figure out, you know, how to do it. Oh,
And
here it
yeah.
is.
What?
Sorry. Somebody just posted the YouTube video. Ivy Ross and Susan Magsimum, Your Brain on Art, The Science of Creativity and Neurological Health. Thank you so much for posting that. Yeah, The Science and Creativity of Neurological Health. It's great. So anyway, thank you, Nikki, for posting that.
That's wonderful. Yeah. See what we can do together?
Yeah, yeah, it's so great. And so I did I noticed when you said you were having the your retreat in May, I think it is,
Uh-huh.
the big 4-day retreat that you're having art at the retreat as
Oh,
well.
you bet. You bet. Yeah. It's very important. Our we'll have uh, classical music going while people are working with their art, and we'll talk about things. You know,
Right.
it's 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 an opportunity to reach another dimension. There's so many dimensions that are showing up right now in the universe that it can be very confusing. But if it's reaching for the light and trying to get the answers and finding that our whole process is having to move through it, but not get stuck in it, but not just move through it, but live through it.
Mm,
In the process of living through it, it's sort of like the last few days or so, I've had a lot of trouble with my sinuses, and they aren't quite working right yet. But through the years, when I've had sinus trouble or talked to patients with sinus trouble, I've said, well, you probably are dealing with withheld tears. And so I know of issues where I've lived through a whole process and have not shed those tears, but now they're coming through in the way that I can experience them. And if I recognize this sinus stuff that I'm working with
mm-hmm.
as part of the living process that I'm going through to get to the other side, of this so that I can continue to live without it. You know, I can actually live through the whole process of tears that needed to be shed, but for whatever reason at that time it wasn't appropriate to shed them, that we can let them go.
Hmm. And so do you find that so sometimes they don't need to be cried out?
Yeah,
Like,
that's right. They need to be dealt with,
mm.
and the plugged up sinuses are basically saying that you really didn't get that cleared out completely, and there's more work to be done there.
So, like, I've had sinus stuff for years, and
Yeah,
I will use acupuncture
sure.
and Chinese herbs as a way, and the neti pot as a way to, help me deal with it. But I've never really, that's interesting. I've never really taken it from that perspective that there was an issue that needed to be resolved in the form of an emotion or a release of grief or a release of something.
Yeah,
Um,
because we all have those
hmm,
times that we had to get through.
mhm,
We've lived through difficult times, and the pain and memory is still there in the tears that have not been shed. And so, if we can recognize these plugged up sinuses as ways when not just the medication or the treatment like acupuncture and so on is dealing with it, but in the process of doing that, we actually are releasing some of that pent up energy that can be very uncomfortable and very um, non-productive until we actually get it moving.
And so when you so do you actively, when you're trying to get rid of or move through the sinus thing that you're like, let's just say that you have right now, um, do you actively speak those words of I'm releasing that which I've withheld, or do you
Well,
not need to?
I may not need to speak them out loud,
Okay.
but recognize what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been, this is plain confession time, but one of the things that I've been really aware of right now is the pain that and uh, trauma that I went through with a
Mm,
divorce. And so I have intellectually and I thought emotionally dealt with that because I really am no longer angry with Bill or about the whole process of the
mm-hmm.
divorce. And because I've chosen to put my energy on what we did together that was amazing. And so I'm putting my energy into the process of creating holistic medicine and all the work that we did at that time. And for the years that we worked together on that, instead of the pain that I went through when he asked for the divorce,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to understand that and all that, I finally have decided that I don't regret one moment of the time I spent with Bill McGarry. And he took a vacation. So let him take a vacation and figure out what he's going to want to do.
Right.
And so it releases him to do whatever it is that he needs to do from the other dimension. And it releases me, but it takes time.
Right.
So it has to be uh, time involved in this too. And if we're a turtle, you know, we don't understand that kind of time.
Right, right. I'm gonna go back up here. Somebody made a comment in regards to this. Okay, years ago when my ex-husband said mother died, he felt he should cry. He needed to be strong. He began to lose his hearing. Finally, doctors found his tears had blocked his ear canals. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. And then Linda is saying, I have trouble with my sinuses. Is it due to grief?
It could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
Um,
Consider that. Consider that.
and so, for someone like that who's asking that question, to consider that, would that just be like, would you be guiding someone to say, ask in your dreams or when you're in meditation, ask if the sinus has a relationship to grief or to, and just see what arises.
Yeah. Pay attention to what your body's trying to tell you.
Mm,
And because, you know, our bodies, my body is my body. And it when it's trying to tell me something, it's a very personal message. And so if I'm listening and I'm wanting to hear it, then I can look through my dreams. I can uh, look at a painting that I've done. I could talk to somebody who suddenly gave me the answer with the talking. In other words, when we start looking for answers, they'll show up.
hmm
But if we're not looking for them, we won't see them.
right, right. Um, she says, so Dr. Gladys is saying hers was due to divorce. I feel like mine is too, as well as grief.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then somebody up here, Dr. Sherry, was saying, go to the ocean and put your feet in the salt water and purge, and that will help get your sinuses better.
Good
Yeah,
idea.
I'm trying to get my phone to settle down here. There,
Good, good
okay.
idea.
Oops.
Find,
Um,
yeah, find something that works for you.
right. Yeah, but I love that. I love how connected you are and that you always connect the dots between whatever's happening in your physical body to some emotion or something because, I mean, we've talked about this before, but it's not the common way that people think about it. They feel like I have a pain, I have an illness, that's the end of that. They don't connect the dot to, oh, this could be related to this, that, or the other thing.
Right. And that's part of the whole process of femifesting. You know, you kind of sometimes have to use your imagination or be listening for something, which if you're not listening for it, you're not going to hear it. So it's the process of actually making life work for
Mm,
us. You know, the things that we have in life that we can use to understand the energies. And right now, the world is creating energies that are so awesome that it's hard to understand. And sometimes I think our bodies just take on a big load and say, yeah, well, let's look at this now.
right. Somebody just commented, I managed through chemo with breathing and thought I was a mushroom consistency, breathing
Wow.
and sprouting, I think is what that word is meaning. Um, yeah, whatever it
Yeah.
takes. Um,
Yeah. That's,
and I would say Linda's asking, what if I don't live near an ocean? Where do I soak my feet? Wouldn't you say Epsom salt?
oh, Sure,
Right.
sure.
Um,
And I've told you about the jet lag remedy, haven't I?
yes, you have with the Epsom salt bath.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, and somebody also is saying trees and lots of forest bathing. So just
Oh
getting
yeah.
your feet on the earth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Walking in pine trees.
Mm,
I don't have any pine trees here. But when I grew up in the Himalayas, there were pine trees all
mm.
around. A huge Himalayan pine. Yeah.
Somebody is commenting, Louise Hayes says sinus problems are related to irritation to one person.
Oh. Hmm.
Did you ever meet her?
Yes, I did. I knew her. In Ray, New York. Yeah.
I don't know where she was.
Yeah.
Um, and then someone says, I have found that after a few heartbreaks, a heavy grief stayed in my chest and could do to make the heart lighter.
Do you know any people who do craniosacral adjustments? They're osteopaths who do craniosacral adjustments. They work with that energy.
Okay. So finding
Who
someone, it doesn't have to
does?
be an osteopath though. I mean, I know plenty of people that do craniosacral that aren't osteopaths. Are you saying it's a very specific difference?
Well, it depends on the individual.
Right.
I think
Okay.
individuals can develop no matter who who the teacher is, they can develop the way in which this is done, but it's the realigning the chakras in a way that they can do their work in line with the other chakras.
Mm,
And it's the figure of eight body that energy that goes constantly through the belly button, the umbilicus. That's why the jet lag remedy help. Not the jet lag. Well, maybe that too. Yeah, but the um, motion sickness. You know, and for motion sickness, tape a bare aspirin in your belly button, and you'll be able to get through motion sickness
and so why do you think that works?
because the the human body energy is a figure of eight, and it starts at the umbilicus and it goes down and around and back up. It enters all of the chakras going through this figure of eight energy process. But when it's constantly has to go through the umbilicus, through the belly button.
Hmm, that's so interesting. So for people, yeah, you have told that before that you put the bare aspirin in your belly button before you go on the car ride or the boat ride, and it seems to work.
Yeah, and you better tape it in because it'll roll out if you don't. So,
Someone is commenting, I am 19 years old and I have terrible tremors. My hands and neck starts to shake when I am stressed. I always have trouble concentrating on something. I wish there was some way out.
have you seen a neurologist? And I would really suggest that you find somebody who is doing the craniosacral work too,
Okay.
because I think that might help you on the path.
And somebody is asking, wait, where did it go? What are skin issues related to?
Oh, multiple problems. You know, the skin takes pretty much the it's our protector,
Right.
and so it takes all kinds of things that it deals with. So the, your skin is your uh, it's what dresses you up and makes you who you holds you together. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm. But I've also heard that skin issues are like gut related, and it's, because your skin
Sure,
is the way that you excrete excrete toxins.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a detoxifier as well as taking things. It allows our organs to work
Mm.
because it deals with things. And yeah, why do we blush
So
when
do you,
something
were
happens?
you ever a dry brush person? Did you ever use dry brushing as a way
No,
to,
no,
no? Or like
no.
a
But I've
loofah
heard,
to,
yeah, I've heard about it, and people who use it, it's a good
right.
tool.
And Linda is asking, is it true that stress affects your lungs and then makes it pour in your chest?
Well, your lungs are the air chakra. So, yes,
But wouldn't you also say that stress will
oh,
affect anything and everything? I mean,
absolutely.
stress will go to the weak link in your body. So whatever,
It may manifest with the lungs, but then, yes, stress, but understanding energy is a multifaceted uh, process because each one of us use our energy in our own way.
hmm
There are people who uh, they use their energy by being very quiet and not causing and there are others who step into a room and boy, their energy takes over. The way in which we as as manifesting people manifest the stresses and the work and the joys and the sorrows and the pain and all of that, all those things are part of who we are
mm.
and make us individuals. It's so amazing that we are who we are in a place where you're supposed to be at a time we're supposed to be here,
Yes, it
etc.
is true.
Uh-huh.
Um, someone commenting, I just finished reading your book, listening to the audiobook. I loved it so much. Going through a rough time at this moment, and your perspective is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Um, and someone is asking, why do we blush? Get red nervous rashes on your neck.
Because your adrenals activate the circulatory system that expresses itself that way.
Mm,
You know, when we want to express something and maybe don't want to say it, we can express it in ways that our eyes show it, or our face shows it, or our fingers show it. We get wibbly wobbly. It depends on how our body chooses at that time to show, and blushing is sure can be one of them.
oh, that's so interesting. Um, so somebody's saying, dealing with bacterial infection in my lungs. Can this be related to mold exposure? We recently
Oh,
discovered toxic mold under our sink.
oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just really, you have to get rid of those molds. Those, yeah.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Mm.
Um, and Linda is saying, I could listen to you all night. Thank you, lovely Dr. Gladys.
Oh,
You are so amazing. I love you.
I love you too.
That's so great.
I love every one of you, everyone that's listening. We have created, and Katie created this must be 4 years ago now.
It's getting up there.
Yeah, which I think is a blessing for the whole world, because we have been able to talk to people and respond to questions all around. It's just amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing. Somebody's asking that she'd love to hear more about the retreat.
Call or get in touch with the Foundation for Living Medicine, and our information is all there. The foundation, the Foundation for Living Medicine. Look,
If you go on the
look that up.
website,
Yeah,
if you go on the website, it should be on
yeah.
there.
And if you have any further questions, call and talk to Rose Winters.
And I think her information is listed on the website. It should
Right.
be. Yeah.
It should.
Yeah. And also, if you sign up for the Foundation for Living Medicine newsletter, you will
Yes,
get that information.
it'll all be
So
there.
it'll all be there because I did just get the newsletter and it did talk about it. And it's open to, so it's open to anybody, right?
The newsletter,
No,
yes.
the retreat. Oh,
No, it's a
I
fee.
yes, it's a fee, but anybody can go.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it's definitely there's a fee involved, but it's open to the public.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the newsletter is available to anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody's asking, is that in the bio? Is the email or the foundation in the bio? I don't think the information, no. I don't think that's in her bio.
No,
Just head over to the website
no,
and you'll see it there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, cool. Um, okay, well, I know that we started late, but I have to get going because I have patients coming this afternoon. And I did want to comment because John was commenting on how beautiful you look today. And that is a very beautiful shirt or blouse or what a dress, whatever that is. It's beautiful.
Well, John picked it out for me, so he's I can't let him agree to everything because he did the work.
I see. Well, he chose a lovely
Thank
outfit for you to wear.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
and yeah, and we will just be back next week. So thank you everyone for like hanging in there when we were trying to figure out how to do the dual thing, and we may try that again, or there might be an easier way to do it. I don't know, but we are really wanting to have Gladys these conversations live in a place that is accessible and more easily accessible to everyone. So we're working on that. Um, and
Life is a process to be lived.
yes, and I am just wishing you well in your ongoing release
Oh, yeah.
of your
Thank
sinuses. Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yes, I hope that release happens easily and completely.
And it'll take its time and it'll do its job, and life is
Absolutely.
good, and yes, thank you.
All right. Well, love to everyone. Thank you for all your
Absolutely.
participation today. It was great. Lots of comments, and we love it when that happens. So keep them coming.
Absolutely. It really adds to everything.
Yes, it does. It really adds to the conversation, and we
Right.
love that. So, anyway, Gladys, you have a great rest of your week,
You
and
too.
I'll talk to you soon. We'll
All
catch
right.
up. All right.
Yeah.
Love you.
Okay.
Bye,
Love you
John.
too.
Thank you so much for trying to make that work. All right. We'll talk again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye
Thanks
bye.
again for being here.
Bye bye.